Hey, I want to welcome you to 2019. Hard to believe, seems like 2018 just started. And as one person texted me just a little bit ago, they said, wow, I can remember 2018 like it was yesterday. Maybe because it actually is. Well, I want to wish you a Happy New Year and a blessed one. I pray it'll be one that you'll invest for Christ. And as I'm looking back, I realize that our master ministry, we left off with number 48. And so it's time for 49. We've been over a year since we did that. And so we're going to kick this back into operation this year. I think this year will be a little different than last year. Last year was just a whirlwind, so much taking place. But my question, here's my question for you. What's your life lesson for 2018? I'm going to ask you to post yours down below. I'd like to learn from you as well. And so if everybody just post with us, and one lesson that you've learned, I'm going to give you two real quick, kind of a bonus, if you will. But as I look back on this last year, I realized 2018 was an incredible whirlwind. We moved back to South Africa. We've moved twice during the year. Moved into one house, finally found a house to live in, and then had to move off to a second house because the landlady wanted to move into the house. She's getting married this year, and so we understood that. And but we found another place we think will be a nice one and a good one for us for the coming days, and we're going to see what God does. But as I look back over the last year, I asked myself the question, what one thing is the big issue that happened over this last year that catches my attention? And as I look back, I think about two countries in which we're now working, which I was not at the beginning of 2018. Got a number of congregations of people up in Malawi and a number of congregations of people down in Mozambique as well. Now, when I say congregations, I'm talking about groups of people who need to hear the gospel. Some of these groups of people have been born again. They want to grow, and we trust God's going to turn some of these into true churches that'll stand for Christ and evangelize their countries and ultimately the world. I sit back amazed at all of that. Now, I've also got a third country, which I've got a number of congregations up there. I have not been in that country, but I've been invited to that country by a number of preachers and these congregations in 30 different villages to come and help them establish sound churches there as well. And so as I look at all this, I say, whoa, look at that. And two big life lessons that stand out for me. Now, life lesson can be something you knew before, but you're learning better again. First lesson, and this one is huge, I think, for missionaries, for preachers, for Christians as well. When I was a young man, I tried to do a little bit of fishing. I never was much of a fisherman. Don't know why we couldn't catch fish. I'd dangle the bait over the bathtub every night, but nothing would ever get caught. And so didn't catch much. But I do remember there was a period of time when I fancied myself a wise fisherman, and I made myself a trot line, and I went out and set a number of hooks and put it out in the river. Every once in a while I'd catch me a small fish. Didn't do real well, but I knew this much, because I had a number of hooks in the water, I was bound to catch something once in a while. Wasn't a great fisherman, but I was catching something. And I found this to be true in the Christian life. I've found this to be true in the ministry, that we need to get more hooks out. And this last year has been a year of getting a number of hooks out, and God in turn has blessed that. Now, let me say, number two, and that's the second lesson that comes along with this one, we need to always depend upon God and not upon the flesh. Putting the hooks out is not the equivalent of, oh, now God's going to bless. No, not necessarily. We need to be heart dependent upon the Lord. And there is no way, with all that we've done this last year even, as I look at it, there's just no way that 3 new countries could have opened up with so many groups of people inviting us into their villages, when I know of other missionaries who they can't even find one village in which to work. God has been so good to me. And it has nothing to do with me. It's the grace of God. It's the prayers of God's people. And so if there's 2 lessons I want to take forward in this new year, it's number 1, I want to get out all the hooks I possibly can. I've got some plans for some new hooks to be able to be laid, and we're working on those. I've already started formulating them. In fact, today I've been working on those. And then number 2, my second, and this is probably the primary lesson, it is I need to spend more time with God. I need the Lord's blessing in my life and in my ministry. I need to learn to be dependent upon Him. Yeah, I know that truth. You know that truth. You know how to say it. I know how to say it. But practicing it is where we need to be. And so let me encourage you as a child of God, those of you that are listening to me that are born again and concerned about reaching souls, let me encourage you to get some hooks out. But let's not forget that ultimately it's God that adds. It's God that opens hearts. It's God that brings about those divine appointments. Now, can I encourage you to do something here? I know I shouldn't do 2 things here, but I'm going to ask you to do, number 1, first of all, go down below there in the comment section and leave a comment of 1 life lesson from 2018 that you see, that you've learned, that you've noticed, that you need to remember going forward. Be an encouragement to the rest of us. Number 2, if you've not done this, go over to masterministry.com, the webpage, masterministry.com, and a little pop-up will be there, or there'll be a little box there where you can sign up. It says for a newsletter or something. I forget how it's worded. But put in your email address. I've got some amazing things already set up on the web, and they're going to be released going forward here, and we're going to be doing that very quickly. And so you want to get in on those. There are some real great nuggets that are coming, and the only folks that are going to have access to that will be the folks that sign up over there, so that I can communicate with you and send you the link in order to go to the different page each time that we open one of those pages up. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for commenting. Yeah, I'm doing that by faith, trusting you to do it. Surely there's something God's taught you this last year that would be a great help and encouragement to the rest of us. So do that, would you? What's Master Ministry all about? It's all about tips, tools, and truths that will help you advance your ministry for eternal effectiveness for the cause of Christ. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us here. Take care.